money and income. Well, welcome everyone to the North American Leadership Academy with Rain International. I'm Derrik Lord from Chicago, and I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, I'm going to spend a little time and focus on the business and the financial side. But first, we're going to hear from some Rain associates telling us a little bit about their backgrounds and why they chose to have Rain be a part of their financial future. After their stories, I'll be back, and I'd like to touch on two things that deal with money and income. Now, here are some real people and real stories.
Hi, everybody. My name is Debbie Grisey from beautiful Jensen Beach, Florida. I have to tell you that I joined RAIN for multiple reasons. My husband had dementia, and I was his caretaker for many years. When he passed away, unfortunately, last year, I realized that I needed to be in an atmosphere of definitely less stress and more joyfulness. I wanted to be around like-minded people that were positive thinking, people that wanted to make a difference in the world. This is what I wanted. I also want to travel and do new things and definitely meet new people. Well, I had no way to do that. So I was introduced to RAIN, and when I saw what the company offered, I knew there was no question in my mind that this is where I wanted to be. This was the company for me. I have now experienced so many wonderful things that I never thought would ever happen to me. I have met so many people from around the world that I never would have known if it wasn't for this company. And I have exponentially grown with my prosperity, my abilities, and my self-esteem. To tell you the truth, I don't see why any of this couldn't be happening for you. I love this company. I am happy. I am excited to be in this company. I am excited about the products and what they've done for my health. And as a matter of fact, one of the products that I absolutely love is Bright. Bright enhances the cognitive abilities. It gives you extra energy. And to tell you the truth, the energy that I have now is like when I was younger. And for that, being almost 75, that's a miracle. So Bright is one of the things I take every day, and I will never stop taking it. I just want to say that this is the place I knew I would be. This is the place that had brought me everything so far that I've ever wanted. And I want to tell you that I am undeniably RAIN.
Hello everyone, my name is Thomas. I'm 43 years old. I'm from Norway. Before I started with seed-based nutrition, I didn't have any major health issues. But I had very low energy and was often very tired. I had heard about seed-based nutrition and I wanted to try, as I hoped it could change my daily life. And after a short time, I noticed that I had much more energy, especially after work. For several years, I had high cholesterol, and it was far above the reference value when I took the test last fall. The doctor wanted me to start on cholesterol-lowering medication, but I was allowed to test RAIN products first from him. After using some of the products in 3 months, all my cholesterol levels were within normal range. And the most wonderful is that the good cholesterol had increased and the bad cholesterol had decreased. So the doctor said to me that I didn't need to start on medication. Just keep on the seed-based nutrition, he said. So then I realized how good RAIN's products are. And it convinced me that these products really work. And I love it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebel, and I am a very happy rainmaker. You know, I have been a rainmaker my whole career. For 30 plus years, I helped investors and execs build and launch tech companies. That rainmaking was exhausting. 80 to 100 hours a week, constant pressure. I had no life. And I loved the work, but I was chronically ill. I was stressed to the max. I'd go home and cry at night just because I knew I wasn't doing everything perfectly and I wanted to give my clients my best. I made really good money, but my clients made a heck of a lot more. And I knew I needed a change, but I was so sick and exhausted. I couldn't even think. I wasn't bright anymore. My mind, my body, my spirit were dulled by it all. And then Randy called about rain. So I took off and looked at rain because I'm a tech girl, and what I saw was breakout innovation and technology. Seed sourced, oh my God, what an amazing innovation. NPP, brilliant technology. So here, I had chronic inflammation. I started using Sol, and I felt the difference so fast my head spun and my body got better. Then I added Bend, and my joints started to feel better. Wow, I was taking 75 to 100 supplements a day. Not anymore. I threw them in the garbage and walked on laughing. So I had brilliant innovation in nutrition. I had a program of leverage to make money, enjoy what I was doing. And rain also allows me to help others be healthier, make money, and live life the way they want. And that's what I've wanted to do forever because I love helping others. So here I am, renewed to the core and happy as a clam, as a rainmaker, changing people's lives in the best ways possible. What a gift. And you can have it too. I'm Rebel and I am Rain.
My name is Yasmin Ibrahimovic. I worked in customer service and management most of my life, had a boss and worked for someone else. While doing okay, I always felt like there was more to life than 9 to 5 and overtime. I realized that job was the first thing I put on my calendar and everything else came second. Not that it was more important, but those were the rules. You organized your life around your work. A few years ago, I decided to move from a corporate role and started my rain business. My hope was to be able to get more control of my time and consequently my life. And it was a challenge at first because I was bringing my old habits with me. Instead of being a leader, I started to be a customer service agent to my team. And it was okay for a while, but the more people joined, I realized that it was again becoming a full-time job. Then I discovered a system. And I realized that a system will not help only me, but others to create their own freedom. I simply knew we were going to make it, and that changed everything. I knew that if we use the system for a few hours a day for 30 days, we're going to reap major benefits in the next 60 days. And that happened every time. First time we did it, we skipped from executive to elite rank. Second time we did it, we skipped from elite to diamond rank. And with every rank, we experienced more financial and time freedom. Now, the only boss I have is my goals and my calendar. Now I decide what my priorities are and make my commitments accordingly. Now I can build my business with my wife, and the freedom we experience is beyond anything we thought possible. We changed the rule for us because now we organize our work around our lives. In a nutshell, we're no longer strapped into a 9 to 5 cubicle. Just in the last couple of years, we traveled to Venice, Italy for a week convention with our team. We went to Lisboa, Portugal, visited the US 3 times, Miami, Orlando, Utah, and Nevada. And we can't wait for the next convention because we know it's going to raise our business to the next level. I love this leverage lifestyle. My name is Yasmin and I am Rain.
Hi, my name is Bettina, and before Rain, I was a full-time school teacher, and I was also struggling big time with my energy. I had a severe burnout that left me depleted and energyless, and I struggled to come back to normalcy. So when I found Seed Nutrition, I knew that nutrition was a key point for me to get back. And I was thinking at a point, I need something 10 times what I have to get back to normalcy. And when I found Seed Nutrition, I found it. I got back to work full-time as a teacher for the first time in 4 years. But at the same time, I also shared the product with friends, family, people who follow me that I got to know on this journey. And I saw some amazing results, not only in me, but also in them. Something far greater than I actually even dared to hope for. I saw it and I experienced it. So 6 months ahead, I realized, hey, I can build something real with this. I can build a sustainable lifestyle. I can build a business that can give me freedom. Because I wanted to have a family and have time for that. I couldn't have the stress anymore. So I started working strategically through 2020. And when I became a mom in September, I stayed in the hospital for months with my oldest, sorry. I realized while being in the hospital that all the work I've done, the foundation, took fired up. People kept joining my business that I didn't even know. People kept joining everywhere. I watched my back office and new names all the time popped up. And I was not the one doing it all anymore. And so I experienced the magic of leverage, of teamwork and effort. And I know today that I can provide this information, this belief to others. And my mission is to help others experience what I have. I haven't gone back to teaching since because I don't need to. And I want others to feel the same level of freedom and the prosperity and happiness that I have today. So thank you so much for having me here. I'm Bettina and I'm Rain.
Hi, my name is Paul Ingeman, and back in the 80s, I was a rock singer. I actually had some hit records back in the 80s. I don't know if you can see back there. I sang the theme song to Scarface. I co-wrote the music to the 1984 Olympics, had a hit record with that over in Europe, and I was the lead singer of two rock bands in the 80s, Device and Animotion. I'm not telling you that to give you my resume. I'm telling you that because those things allowed me to discover something, residual income, where you can do something once and keep getting paid for it over and over and over again, even though you're not continuing to do that thing. In the 90s, as I transitioned out of rock and roll, my wife and I started an interior design business, and we worked very hard, and we did wind up on the front cover of Architectural Digest with our work. We did that for about 12 years, but I discovered that you can only sell a couch once. And I really kind of yearned for something that I could create residual income with again. And I found that in Rain International. You know, Rain is a company with really revolutionary technologies, patented technologies that allow people to optimize their health. And it's an international business. So it's quite an opportunity. And I have had the privilege of building an international business with thousands of people around the globe. So why now? I told you why Rain. Why now? Well, we have an incredible health epidemic all around the globe of obesity, of autoimmune diseases. People are really looking for health, especially after the COVID epidemic. And also, we are living in a side gig economy. People are looking for ways to make extra money. People are looking for ways to have more freedom and spend more time with their families. I have found that in Rain International. And so can you. So that's why Rain, and that's why now. My name is Paul Engeman, and I am Rain.
Wow. Wonderful people, wonderful stories. And notice the variety of ages and backgrounds and reasons why they chose Rain to be part of their financial future. Well, as I promised, two things that deal with money and income. By the way, my background is in the insurance and financial planning industry for many decades. First thing, money and income are not the same. Let me repeat that. Money and income are not the same. Both are needed to be able to fully enjoy your life, however. While having a pile or a stack of money is great, having an income, especially a residual or ongoing income that can continue whether you're working or you're not working, is truly a game changer. Well, let me begin by bringing some clarity to what I'm referring to residual income. For most of us, the only time we'll experience the equivalent of residual income is when we, quote, retire with either Social Security or a pension if you're here in the US. That's where we get a check or an automatic deposit into our bank account that comes in like clockwork every single month. Wouldn't it be better if we could experience that type of income much, much earlier in life? And how about if it was deposited weekly instead of monthly? By the way, when people have asked me if I'm a little jealous of Rain associates who are 10 or 20, 30, maybe even 40 years younger than I am, well, Maybe a little bit, but that's okay, especially since I have children and grandchildren who are even younger. But now to the second thing. A few of you know my background included being in the entertainment business as a magician. To set the stage, let's use an example of someone, maybe like you or me, that has some regular monthly bills like your cell phone, cable, internet, or even utilities like electric, gas, and water. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that you are the magician. But instead of vanishing a rabbit or making a dove appear from a silk handkerchief, you make one or more of your bills disappear forever. How would that make you feel? How would that affect your concern over finances? What if it was your car payment or rent or even your mortgage? On the other hand, what if it's simply you being able to purchase as many Rain products as you wanted to use every month and share, but at the end of the month, your bank account didn't go down because your commissions and bonuses covered the entire cost? That's one of the effects of having an income that continues whether you're working or not. It's also the type of income seemingly reserved only for a few very talented people who either write best-selling books or record hit songs. Maybe they're an actor or producer in a blockbuster movie or a TV series, or maybe they even invented something and have some type of royalty that comes in regularly. Let's face it, for most of us, however, that won't be the case. But fear not, because we have a way that you can create something very similar. In fact, perhaps even better. Now, picture in your mind that because of you taking the action of sharing and introducing Rain's products and business, some of your friends, family, and neighbors could do the same thing. Think about the impact you can have and how you'll feel, especially for the people that you love and care about. And finally, this evening, I just want to conclude with the following thoughts. Money and income are both important, but remember they're very, very different. Also, remember that in order to enjoy money and income, you have to have reasonably good health. And of course, we've got an answer for that. And then think about how you can address money and income by partnering with Rain International and this new thing called social entrepreneurship, the doing well by doing good. Well, that's it for this evening. I want to thank everyone for attending this Leadership Academy or watching the replay. Special thanks to all who gave those wonderful stories. And as always, if you're a guest, or maybe you just wanted to hang out and take a look at what we do as far as training and support, please get back to the person who invited you, and they'll help you get your questions answered. Everybody, have a great week.